All right, so today I'm going to teach you a couple of the ways to use your calculator in an efficient way. Although you won't be able to do this on the ACP test, it is helpful occasionally to check your answers. You can use your calculator to check. You can use your calculator to see what's going on. And you can certainly use your calculator in some of these problems that you're going to get between now and May. They're just too long to do by hand, so the calculator can help you out. So the first thing I wanted to show is how to do an integral with a graph. So if you go to your graph and you just graph something like sine of x, make sure that you are in radians, right down here, radians, so that you get the right graph. And then I went ahead and set my window from -2 pi to 2 pi. It's a pretty standard window x value for a sine, cosine for trig. And my step, I'm going to do 0.5 pi. So every fourth of the way around the circle, essentially, the right, the top, the left, the bottom. And then I'm going to go from -2 to 2 on my y. It's not necessary to go all the way up to 2 and -2 because sine only goes up to 1 and -1, but I like the way the graph looks. So then you graph, and it looks something like this. That's the sine curve. So something that you've maybe never noticed before is that if you go to calculate, it's the trace key, it's the second from the right. If you go second trace, or the calculate key, there's something here, number 7, that should look kind of familiar to you. It is the integral option. So if you pick that, and then it's going to ask you for the lower limit, so I'm going to say 0, and then the upper limit, let's do maybe 1.5 pi. Those are the limits of integration. And when you actually graph this, it colors in the curve for you. So although this isn't the most efficient method to use, it's one of my favorites because it actually shows you the area. That some of it is above, some of it is below. That's particularly important if you're talking about absolute value graphs, because you can see that the right side of it is the negative part. That's the part that's going to be affected by the absolute value symbol. And you can even use the trace key, the calculate second trace, to calculate the zeros. So the left bound is here, the right bound maybe here, and it'll tell you that the 0 is at 3.1415927. That's pi. So if you were using the absolute value, you would go from 0 to pi, and then pi to 1.5 pi. Now the downfall of this method is that if you clear, and you leave the graph, and then you go back to it, it's colored in again. So getting rid of that coloring is kind of, you can go back here, and it's still colored in. So one way to get rid of it is to just retype one part of the equation, and it will regraph the whole graph for you. Again, not maybe the most efficient method, but it is certainly one that works. There we go. That helps, I believe. Okay, so that's one method for finding an integral with your calculator. Another method is to go back to the main screen and go to math. That's where you would find the fractions and square roots and stuff like that. And maybe you've never noticed it before, although you've seen it hundreds of times. Number 9. FNINT, that's function integration. Now, depending on the type of calculator you have, it could set you up very, very nicely. So here, if you use the integral function integrate option, it actually sets up the integral. So you can go from 0 to 1.5 pi, 1.5, from sine of x, we need another parenthesis, dx. And you're typing it into your calculator just like it would be on your paper, and it solves it for you. If you don't have a TI-84, it doesn't set up quite as nicely. So for TI-83s, or actually I believe TI-89s are also like this, when you go to this function key, it's going to not give you the same picture. It's just going to give you like FNINT parenthesis. So what you do in that case is you start with the function sine of x, then you put a comma, and you put, so you first start with the function, put a comma, then put an x, just the x, then a comma, then the lower limit, comma, upper limit, and close the parenthesis. I don't have my TI-83 with me right now. I'm thinking might still be at North Central, so I'm not going to have that for the next several weeks. But give that a try if you have a TI-83. If it doesn't work, it might go sine of x, comma, 0, comma, 1.5 pi, comma, x. I'm pretty sure that the x is the second thing you put, but if that doesn't work, try putting it at the end. So the nice thing here, if you go back to that math, and you go back to integrate, and we go from 0 to 1.5 pi. Remember the difference between distance and displacement, that distance is always positive. So you can actually go here, and there's an absolute value option under numbers, ABS, of sine of x, and you can actually type dx, the absolute value function, into your calculator, and it will calculate it for you. Now you see this pause. That pause is because this is a fairly complicated thing for your calculator to calculate, because it's doing what we had to do by hand. It's breaking up the integral, it's seeing which part's positive and negative, and you get your answer. So a really easy way to check distance and displacement. I just want to show you one more thing. This inderiv. Look, a number derivative. It's super, super exciting when you first see it. And then you see this. It's d dx. And you type your function 7x squared plus 3x minus 8. I don't know. I just made up a function there. Now the downfall of this is it's only telling you the derivative at a particular number. So it won't take the derivative for you and tell you the derivative. It's only going to tell you the derivative, say at x equal 4, the derivative is 59. So you should recognize this notation here from the ones we did in class. That means plug 4 in for the x value after you take the derivative. But at that point in time, you could just say, hey, the derivative is 14x plus 3. And you could actually do 14 times 4 plus 3 and get the same answer. So it doesn't really save you a lot of time if your derivative is simple. But if you have a derivative that is incredibly long, maybe something with 14 terms or something like that, you could actually use that function to check your work. Remember, as you go through, this is a tool. This is not to do your work for you. It is to check your work. But I do want to make sure that you know what your calculator does, the full potential of the technology at your hands.